Is the sexualization of children right or wrong? Did you know about the World Health Organization's alliance with organizations that promote what they call sexual rights for children? Let me say that again. Sexual rights for children. You hoarders, frankly, are murdering bastards. It's about time you realise what arseholes you really are in difficult times, in really difficult times. We Brits, and I think you'll find the same was in every country, we came together as a community and looked after our weak and vulnerable. So, sexualisation of children. The World Health Organization has also been a supporter of comprehensive sexuality education, or CSE. CSE is a highly explicit kind of education and promotes promiscuity and high-risk sexual behaviours to children as if it were a healthy and normal activity. And the ultimate goal of CSE is to change the sexual and gender norms of society, which is why CSE could be more accurately called abortion, promiscuity and LGBT rights education. Now, I have no problem with LGBT rights, but not to children as young as 5 years old, particularly when you're talking about the other 75 genders that we appear to have now. And frankly, I have doubts about teaching abortion and promiscuity education, as I'll mention later in this video. CSE is a rights-based approach to sex education. It's talking about children's rights to do everything. And it promotes sexual rights to children at the expense of their sexual health. Also, on the World Health Organization website, the International Planned Parenthood Federation, IPPF, commonly known as Planned Parenthood, is listed as one of the World Health Organization's major partners. Now, you have to understand that Planned Parenthood is one of the world's largest abortion providers, and it profits from the services that they provide to young people and adults who are sexually active. So do you see a connection here with the promotion of this kind of education, of promiscuity education? The World Health Organization, as you are no doubt aware, is a UN organization. And on the UNESCO International Technical Guidance on Sexuality Education, published in January, is January 2018, which is a document which is posted on the World Health Organization website. The following statements are made. Young people want and need sexuality and sexual health information as early and comprehensively as possible. Children should have agency in their own sexual practices and relationships. Children and sexual practices. Comprehensive sexuality education can help children form respectful and healthy relationships with sexual partners. Now, don't forget, underlying this, we're talking about children as young as 5 years old. So let's take a look at the learning objectives published in the 2009 version of UNESCO's International Guidelines on Sexuality Education, which has been endorsed by the World Health Organization, and which was intended to guide the comprehensive sexuality education programs in schools globally. So let's have a look first of all at the learning objectives for level 1. That's ages 5 to 8. Now just put a picture in your head of 5-year-olds to 8-year-olds, a class of 5-year-olds being learning about this. Girls and boys have private body parts that can feel pleasurable when touched by oneself. Touching and rubbing one's genitals is called masturbation. Masturbation is not harmful, but should be done in private. All people, regardless of their health status, religion, origin, race, or sexual status, can raise a child and give it the love it deserves. Okay, in themselves, these statements are true. But, and I may be being a bit old-fashioned here, I am getting on a bit, isn't 5 years old a bit young to be losing your innocence and learning about sexual practices that they're neither physically nor mentally mature enough to comprehend? So what about the next stage then? Level 2 for 9 to 12-year-olds. Again, put that figure in your head. Class of 9-year-olds to 12-year-olds. probably still at junior school, maybe just started at secondary school. Right, relationships. This is what you're learning. The relationship between excitement and vaginal lubrication, penile erection, and ejaculation. You're going to teach a 9-year-old about sexual arousal. Next thing is, many boys and girls begin to masturbate during puberty. I should think they'll work that one out for themselves when they're old enough and when they're ready for it. Steps for proper use of condoms. Do you really want your 9-year-old daughter learning about this? Wouldn't you fear that playground pressures might lead her to try it out with a 12-year-old boy? But now, the definition and function of orgasm. Again, some things are best discovered when the time is right for the individual and not taught coldly and clinically when some teacher thinks that the group is ready. It's a private individual thing. And I think discovery is far better and far more exciting than being taught in front of all your peers at that age. Now this one. Legal abortion performed under sterile conditions by medically trained personnel is safe. Pushing abortion as a sexual practice is just plain wrong. Abortion may have its place in the minds of some people, but that place has much deeper reasons than the pursuit of promiscuous sexual pleasure. I just think that as part of a sexual practice, abortion shouldn't be in the forefront of your mind. I'm sorry. So let's move on to the learning objectives for level 3, ages 12 to 15. Well, we're getting to a little more mature age here, although 12 to my mind is still a little bit on the young side for this. Respect for different sexual orientations and gender identity. In principle, I would agree that teaching tolerance of the other when the other is doing no harm is a good thing. But basically, this is teaching children about LGBT and the 75 other, or however many it is, 100, I think the BBC have got listed 100 different genders, at an age when many of them don't have the mental maturity to understand what this is all about. Frankly, I don't quite understand all these strange, to me, there's men and there's women, and there are gay men and there are gay women. The other 98 genders are just beyond my comprehension. Non-binary stuff, I don't know. I believe anyway that this should be a matter for the individual and not for the group. All right, definition, reasons for and legality of abortion, health risks associated respectively with safe and legal abortion and with illegal and unsafe abortion. Now they're talking about abortion again. It's a very profitable business for Planned Parenthood. So why is abortion being taught as part of explaining sexual pleasure? As I said before, it shouldn't be part of the sexual experience. Abortion is something that shouldn't really be in the forefront of your mind when you're going after a bit of sexual pleasure. Right, the definition and description of the physical changes and stages of male and female human sexual response, including orgasm. Now, this is something that is best discovered by the individual at the right time, not taught in a group. Don't forget that we're talking about natural functions that we instinctively understand. I'm sorry, but I didn't need to be told about the physical changes as a sexual response. I found that out all by myself. Sexual behaviours include kissing, touching, talking, caressing, oral intercourse, and penetration. Oral intercourse. Do you want your 12-year-old daughter to learn about oral sex? Would you be worried about an older boy pressuring her into trying it out? And just as an appendix to the foregoing, Planned Parenthood, that organisation that profits out of promiscuity by giving abortions, Planned Parenthood is pushing for the lowering of the legal age of consent throughout the whole world. Also, Planned Parenthood and the World Health Organization together are pushing to legalize prostitution or sex work. In fact, the World Health Organization is listed as an official supporter of the decriminalization cause. Now, on its own, Decriminalising prostitution may or may not be a good thing according to your point of view, and it is open to debate. But, and it's a huge but, put these two things together, legalise prostitution and lowering the age of consent, both pushed by Planned Parenthood. That would lead to legalised prostitution of children in the name of children's sexual rights. Is that right? Would you endorse that? Hi, I'm Stephen, and I hope this video gave you some food for thought. If you'd like to see more of the same, please subscribe. See ya.